guys, Coach Tosh here with Coach Brady, and we're just picking up because he just put us through an amazing ab workout yesterday, and we're actually just gonna go ahead and just dive into abs, the do's, the don'ts, the likes, the unlikes, all things.
Yeah, so we're going to start. If you were here for yesterday's live workout, we did a lot of kind of anti-rotation and not a ton of like flexing your spine, right? So one of the things I hear a lot with abs is that it hurts my low back, right? And there's ways to do abs that are going to hurt your low back at least a little bit less, right? So a lot of the movements we did yesterday, again, were more like stability, which is what the abs are really meant for, right? The abs aren't really meant to round your spine. Yes, they help you do that, but they're really meant to keep you upright. So if you saw some of the exercises we did yesterday, we were standing for them. So for instance, we did one where your hands were here and you were kind of coming across, which we actually did the same movement on the ground, but pretty cool to see like the dichotomy and seeing both movements. So I don't know what your stance is on ab work. I do a lot of like stability stuff. So routine-wise, I like to lift heavy, and that's what I need my abs for versus like to look like you have a six-pack kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah, just what do you think?
I agree. I think it kind of just depends on like where you are in your life, what your goals are.
Yeah, I will say I definitely went through a stage of like, hey, I want to look good at the beach, but like now I'm past that. I got kids now, whatever.
So yeah, so for me, it's kind of the same way. Like right now, I just kind of like to do like high-intensity interval training. That a lot of it, you know, stems from the core, but I don't really dedicate full-blown ab days like I used to before when I was trying to like lean out more. So I think it's like with everything, you know, life changes, goals change. So the bottom line is what, you know, fits into what your goals are, and also being safe about it. So if you do suffer from any lower back pain, you know, any injuries, obviously then, you know, making sure that you're doing things that don't harm you, cause, you know, more injury is very important. So just making sure that you just focus on things that, you know, suit you, and not just doing what's in, you know, in style, trending on TikTok, you know, making sure that you're doing workouts that are functional for you, for your daily lifestyle. So that's my biggest, like, I guess, take on that for everyone out there. So.
Yeah, and then I just want to break down that high plank to low plank real quick, because that's one that I see people do wrong a lot because they're kind of rushing through it. So you alluded to like slow down, really like get the most out of it versus just let me get this over with. So the exercise, if you were here yesterday, you start in a high plank or what would be the top of a push-up, right? And you go down to a low plank. But and I mentioned it yesterday, but the exercise is really how little the rest of your body's moving, right? So if you're here and your hips are kind of wobbling all over the place, yeah, you're doing the movement, but you're not doing half of it, right? Yeah. You're not getting the ab part. You're really just doing the push-up or like the little half a push-up part. So again, kind of like what you talked about, understanding what the goal of the exercise is huge to make sure you're doing it right, not just to do the 10 reps, to really know where you're supposed to feel it, know what it's supposed to look like, feel like. So I think could be great to like work out with somebody so they can watch you if you're in a class or whatnot, or great to use like a mirror to be able to see it for yourself. So I think all too often we forget like why mirrors are in the gym. Yeah, you look good and you want to check it out. You got your new outfit, you got your new Lulu or whatever, but like it's there to make sure you're doing it right.
Right,
for the most part.
And with that, a lot of people actually, I've noticed that don't really like to look at themselves while they're working out. They're like, I don't want to look at I was like, why? I mean, I get it, maybe if it's crowded and you just feel a little bit intimidated, but I think if you just, you know, focus on what he said about making sure that it's about, first of all, it's about you. That's the biggest piece. But making sure that you're doing things in a safe way so you don't hurt yourself. So if you don't feel comfortable maybe looking directly at a mirror just yet, maybe recording yourself, you know, it doesn't have to be on the tripod. You can just prop it on a weight or like a bench or anything like that. That way you can go back and look at your videos, look at the movements, see if you're doing it well, because like he said, it's very important to make sure that it's targeting the areas, the muscle groups that it's supposed to. You're not just running through something because, you know, Coach so-and-so said something, or like just because we said something. Like, you know, look into it, see why, see what muscle groups is it supposed to target, where you're supposed to feel it, you know, and then it'll make sense, you know. I feel like when you see the bigger picture, just with everything, with this too, like you'll be able to kind of like get more out of your workouts, enjoy them a little bit more. So yeah, so. a lot of good insight for you guys to make sure that you guys are also enjoying the workouts that we provide and getting the best out of them. Would you say like there's any actual ab injuries that we should like maybe tell them about to be careful, or is it more like about the back? Or?
Yeah, I think it's more so other things that are going to get hurt with maybe you well-intentioned trying to train your abs, right?
Yeah.
So you're either doing the exercise wrong, or you're maybe going too heavy if you're adding weight to it, or
hyperextending.
Yeah. So it a little bit like too much too soon kind of thing of like maybe you're not ready for it yet. So similar to like if you were thinking about like, hey, I'm gonna try squatting. Like you wouldn't start with a barbell back squat with X amount of weight on it. You definitely should not start with that.
You may, but we don't recommend it.
Yeah, you start body weight and then you kind of build from there. So different ways to progress abs, right? That's kind of what building muscle all comes down to, is finding a way to progress, right? So it could be more reps. It could be slowing down and doing it correctly.
Tempo is big.
Yeah, tempo is huge with ab stuff. And you can add weight to ab stuff too, but I think people are probably doing that too soon. Bands are great because it creates constant tension. And sometimes it's like a good way to like, oh wow, I was doing that wrong, because the band is a good way to like show some muscle weaknesses that you might not think you have. So
I agree. So if you're looking for a comprehensive, video to follow, we have our good buddy, Coach Zach. Coach Zach's Slide Your Way to a Flat Stomach that will be able to get you a little bit more in depth and get maybe those abs ready for summer.